Hi, my name's Nina and I love sketchbooks. So, we have a plain page sketchbook here that I started in, I think it was 2011, and this was the year I graduated and left university. This is the first page and it is an idea I had for a graphic novel. Didn't actually end up doing it, called A Winter's Story. I think that was just a working title. So here I've sort of plotted the story, tried to sort of set a colour palette, almost like writing my own brief. So coming out of uni, I liked the idea of setting myself briefs almost to give me that structure once my course had finished. This is a window sketch, a pencil drawing that I drew when I was around my friend's house, and this is a view from her bedroom window, looking at the rooftops and the chimneys, sort of half finished drawing, just done with, I think that's a bit of marker pen and plain pencil and coloured pencil there, getting pops of red there for the chimneys. This was from a trip to the British Museum to see a show by Grace and Perry, and rather than just walk around the exhibition and look at it, I wanted to try and capture the bits of it that really stood out to me. This is a work process that I first got into as a student and have tried to keep up since graduating. So the idea of going to an exhibition or a museum, looking around and trying to document it and show it in your own way and put it through your own lens, kind of. Yeah, so this was a Grace and Perry show. Here looking at Alan Measles, his teddy bear character, different variations of him, and taking out little sound bites, so little quotes. I enjoy idealised travel in my head. I thought that was a great quote. This is just done with, I think, mechanical pencil, so the pencil I usually use, and one coloured felt tip pen, in this instance blue. And I chose blue because, well, firstly I had a real thing for this shade of blue at this time in my life. I was really into this colour for some reason. Also, it set the colour palette for this collection of drawings. Again, it's kind of like setting a brief, and it makes it kind of look quite cohesive and ties it together quite nicely. So yeah, taking motifs from the show, little bits of text, passages of text and quotes, and recording the objects or artifacts that stood out to me, I guess. There's another page, some notes to myself. And here is another exhibition that I went to, again using the blue and black colour scheme, this time with black pen rather than pencil. This was an Andy Warhol retrospective show at the Delaware Pavilion in Bexhill, not far from where I live. And this is an exhibition of his sort of earlier drawings, more sort of experimental drawing-based work that he made, which I found was fascinating. Slightly graphic approach here with documenting this exhibition, giving it more negative space and taking out design elements that I liked from the show and isolating them on the page. So sort of responding to design in my own design. These are some boots that I had at the time that I was quite fond of. I really like the silhouette of them, the shape of them, so here are some little drawings of them. These next few pages contain some developmental work that I made for a prospective job. So this was a pitch for a job. The job never came through, but these were some sort of tests that I did to see how I would respond to the kind of ongoing project brief that it would be. So regular articles being illustrated each week. And here I am looking at the different graphical elements that could help to show that information in my own style. So different ways to write numbers, different typefaces, all hand rendered. Again, quite a graphical approach, using just two colours and stripping it down just to black and blue. And I think this is actually one of their brand colours as well, which is why I stuck to that and the black. So data information, different ways of showing the content in a visually interesting enough way to digest. Different ways to write the text and contain the text. So yeah. This is a transcript of the song Tears of a Clown by Smokey Robinson. And this is done with a brush pen, and I'd recently just got it and I wanted to test it out, so I decided to fill an entire spread with the lyrics of a song. I quite like pages like this because it just breaks up the usual composition that I'd use, in that it is just filled with text. This is for a pop-up book that I made with Walker Books called The Royal Palaces of London, and they were essentially pop-up 3D landscape books. These are some of the titles for the sites that were featured in the book, sort of hand rendering an existing typeface but putting my own illustrative spin on it. Here are some scribbly pen roughs for the actual illustrations that went into the book. So this is me designing what goes on what layer, and I worked with a paper engineer on this who cut those elements out separately and made it into a 3D scene. So Buckingham Palace, Tower of London, the Crown Jewels. These are notes for my graduation, so my head circumference I had to measure to wear the funny little hat thing. Brings back memories. And more sketches for the Royal Palaces book. Here are some reportage sketches. So I would have done these out on the street, taken my materials out with me and sketched a couple of buildings in my hometown that I thought were really interesting to draw. So I tried capturing the sort of personalities of these buildings. There's a ginger cat who was watching me as I was drawing. Train times. Looking at different collar designs. I was really into collars at the time, as well as the colour blue, as you can see. Here is a drawing I did on a train at Haywards Heath. There's this lovely pink building that you can see just as the train stops. I just really love the silhouette of the sort of dome there at the top and the windows coming out the roof. Some strange faces in the back of the book. Just from my head, not from reference, just sort of improvised drawing. Thanks for joining me on this sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.